Hey everybody, it's Matt from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going to show you my green margin brew deck. So, we'll dive straight in. Auto, once per turn, place one card from your life under this card, and draw two cards. Activate main, once per turn, Spirit Boost 1, you can place up to one battle card with an energy cost of 4 or less in your opponent's drop area under this card, and you can choose one of the keyword skills to gain until the end of turn. And then, when your life's at 4 or less, it's 1-1. So we flip them over, and then on this side it's just auto once per turn when this card attacks draw a card. So they've because some things can let your leader restand, so they've decided to put this as a once per turn for the draw. And then we got activate main once per turn, the same effect as the unawakened side, where you can just spirit boost to gain a keyword skill. But then on this side he has another activate main once per turn, where you can choose two cards from underneath him, put them into the owner's drop area, and he gains 5k until the start of your next main phase. So it can be quite defensive on that side. Okay, so the unison for the deck, you just use Bobody. I'm not entirely sure whether it's worth using any of the other unisons in the game, unless you want to go for 5 unisons or 6 unisons or even more than that. It's completely up to you, really. But I just stick with a 4 Barbody. So he's got a permanent of, if you have a battle card with a servant skill in play in rest mode, your opponent can't attack this card. So they have to attack the card in rest mode, get rid of it before they can attack this. Auto once per turn, when you remove a marker from this card using Spirit Boost skill, it gains Overlord, and then that's for the turn. He's got +2 activate main, choose one of your mono green margin boo cards with an original power of 15k power or less and in rest mode in your battle area, then the chosen card gains servant until the end of your opponent's next turn. So you basically have your 4 costs 15 out, swing of it, goes in rest mode, you +2, target it, and then your opponent has to get rid of it before they can hit your unison. And then at the end of turn, you can swing of it. Well, when it comes back to your turn, you can still swing of it because it's lost the restriction of having the servant. Because that's can't go back to active, isn't it, the servant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. And that's how it gets around it. Because otherwise you're locking down your own card all the time, and that's not too good. So for the extra cards, we got 2 Shocking Death Ball. It's your sparking 1, negate attack. You can take a life, you got 5 in drop, and then when you negate attack with this, you choose one of your friend's battle cards and energy cost of 2 or less and KO it. We've got 1 Wicked Mimicry. So this is counter attack, Spirit Boost X, so you pay X amount. You negate the attack, yeah, negate the attack. If you remove a marker from this card using, if you remove a marker from your green unison card using this skill, play up to 1 margin token in rest mode. Permanent, if one of your green unison cards is attacked, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost by choosing one card in your hand and discarding it. So it's doesn't negate the attack, but it can give you more tokens in play if you want to do that. Doesn't really see play when I'm using it, so I should probably just take it out for another Shocking Death Ball, really. Or another one of these, either way. So we got Wrathful Charge, probably Shocking Death Ball to be honest. So Wrathful Charge, counter attack. If your leader card is green, you get your attack. Then you may choose one of your battle cards and place it in your drop area. If you do, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and discards it, or places it in the drop area. Same thing, sort of. So that's the negates for the deck. And then we've got 4 copies of the 3-star ball. So it gains Dark Dragon Ball in all areas. Activate battle, it's a 5k combo. Activate main, you choose one of your green margin boo cards with an energy cost of 3 in your battle area. Place this card underneath it, and then go into the 5 cost one. And you can do that from your deck or hand. And that's basically what that's for. And then we got the 1 bullet. Counterplay, if your opponent is playing a unison card, they may either remove a marker from it for every 2 cards in their drop area, or warp, well, and warp, so combination. or place it in their drop area instead of playing it. If they don't, your opponent can only attack one more time. Activate main/battle, limit 1. Your opponent can choose one of their battle cards with entry cost of... your opponent chooses one of their cards. But it has to be a battle card with entry cost less than the number of cards in the drop area and send it to their warp. So it's a bit of spot removal as well as trying to stop their unison from coming into play. For the 1 costs, I've basically just done a 4/4 on both of these. So these two, they both have exactly the same skill on the top for the Union Absorb, but it works in exactly the same way where you take a card from underneath your leader, place it underneath, go into the 4 cost. I'll show the 4 cost when it comes to it. And then this one, when it's played, it draws a card. This one, when it's played, you just look at top 5 and add a margin to your hand. That has entry cost of 5 or less. That's basically them. The reason why there's 4/4 is because you really need to open up with one of these to get yourself going. It's very good if you're going second as well, if you get to attack first, because it's play one of these, swing with your leader, get one underneath, draw your 2, so on and so forth, use his union, take the card underneath, go into your 4 cost one. So it's good if you're going second. It's good anyway regardless, but it's just better for you. And then the super combos for choice, we've gone with 2 of the Hercule. This one is just your Spirit Boost one. If you activate a Spirit Boost skill, you can put underneath to draw a card. Otherwise, if your life's at 4 or less, it's a normal super combo. It also adds a marker. And then we got your new style one of you put 1 to the bottom, draw 2 if your life's at 4 or less. So I've done a 2-2 split on those. And then we've got 3 copies of the Unalterated Malice. So this is a counterattack, sorry. That is basically Green's version of Topo. So if your leader card is green, when you negate your attack, play this card. If you played a card, choose 1 card in your hand and discard it. Your opponent can't attack unless you choose 2 cards in the hand and discard them. But then he has the extra benefit in this deck of having the Union Absorb skill, just like the 1 cost one do. Another thing is actually, does the 1 cost deck or drop area? Yeah, so they can do it from deck or drop area to get your 4 cost one. And then we got 3 copies of Margin B, Brilliant Absorption. Does have involve skill into Piccolo, but there aren't any Piccolos in this deck. It's got the same Union Absorb as the other ones, but then it's got Spirit Boost. Sorry. If one of your green margin cards is moved from the battle area by an opponent's skill, you can play this card from your hand by using Spirit Boost. I think I need a drink. So it's another way of getting your Union Absorb going off, so you can always get into your 4 cost one. And it can come out as a Spirit Boost skill, but it doesn't cost any energy, you just lose a marker. Alright, on to the 3 costs then. There are 4 copies of Margin Boo looking for a fight. So it's got Deflect, Auto, when it's played, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 4 or less and KO it. Simple as this. It's there to go with the 3-star ball to go into your 5 cost one, which we'll get to when we get to it. Okay, so as I've been saying throughout the deck profile so far, the 4 cost one, when I've been saying that, this is the one I reference. So this is the one you go into because it meets the requirements for the Union Absorb. Yes, you can evolve onto a Gotenks for 1, but you don't ever bring it out like that. You just do the Union Absorb skill. That's how you should be bringing it out, really. Unless, of course, you do run Gotenks, but I don't, so... Jeez, it's because I need a drink. So then, it's got a permanent. If it would be removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you may remove one of your margin tokens instead. Auto, when this card is played, add up to 1 green unison card to energy. Well, sorry, with a power of 1,000 from your deck to your hand, and then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Choose 1 card in your hand, discard it. So, when you add the unison to your hand, where is he? is here. So you add this to your hand, and then you're meant to discard a card, which I actually didn't do in a matchup, because that's one thing I keep forgetting about. So if you add, you're meant to be discarding. So that's my bad. And then we've got 2 copies of Cooler Effortless Strike. I'm going to read the SR, not the SPR, because for some reason the text is always just overdone on the SPRs. So counterplay, you can play this card, and if the battle card being played has an energy cost of 4 or less, it is placed in its owner's drop area instead of being played. Permanent, during your opponent's turn, you reduce the energy cost of this card in your hand by 1 for each green extra card in your battle area or drop area. Well, and drop area, so combination. And then auto, when this card is played, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they discard a card. So, and then we've got 1 copy of Margin Boo Ultimate Despair. This is only a one-off because I only have 1. If I had more of it, then I would just reduce like this package, or I would just not bother with this card. But because I only got the 1, I have that extra deck space. If you've got extra copies, then play around with ratios depending on what you want to do with having this and this. But it does have an evolve skill onto a Sun Gohan Adolescence for 3. Permanent, if this card would be removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill, you can remove a token instead. Auto, when this card is played from your hand, play up to 1 margin token, then choose it to 1 of your opponent's battle cards and place it under this card. So you get to remove a card and get 1 underneath this. It's got Activate Main, paying 2 green. If you've got 3 or more mono green energy and you choose 1 of your green battle cards and place 1 card from it underneath it into your drop area, you can play this card from your hand. So the Union Zorb, you've got a card underneath, remove it, play this guy. And then remove a card from theirs, and then play the card from underneath, and then, yeah. You get the idea. So on to the 5 costs. We've got 3 copies of the Margin Boo Dark Parasite. So this has Deflect, Auto, when it's played, you remove a marker from, well, you can choose to remove a marker from 1 of your Unison cards, and then choose 1 of your opponent's Unison cards and remove a marker from it if you do, and then your opponent chooses a card from the hand and discards it. Choose 1 card in the hand and 1 of it. Oh, and it's meant to, and you're meant to get rid of a battle card as well. So you remove a marker from yours, remove a marker from theirs, make them discard, and make them lose a battle card as well. Does a lot. And then we've got 2 copies of the Margin Boo Unalterated Destruction. So it's got Deflect and Revenge. It's got Permanent. While this card is in rest mode, your opponent can't attack your leader card unless they choose 2 cards on their hand and discard them each time. Then it's got Auto. When this card is played from your hand, you choose all other non-token cards in all battle areas and all Unison cards, ignoring Barrier, negate their skills and place them in the owner's drop areas. Okay, your opponent chooses 2 cards in their hand and discards them, and if your leader card is mono green margin card, place those cards under your leader card instead of them going to the drop area. Wordy. And then also, if you have 5 or more energy, if this card is placed in your drop area from your battle area by an opponent's skill, play this card from your drop area. It's a 5 cost, so I don't even know any other way you can bring this out quick. So you're going to get that second auto. Its first auto is just utterly disgusting though, because it just wipes your board as well, but if you got tokens out, you're still going to maintain something. And then for the last card of the deck, by the way, these are my tokens. Using those Gotenks tokens. Anyway, so the last card deck for me is Margin Boo Royal Absorption. So it's a 7 cost, it has double strike, dual attack, EX evolve for 1 green onto a Margin Boo Xeno with an energy cost of 5. There's your target. And then it's got Auto. When it's removed from your battle area, you basically add if I can find the cards, and then There we go. So, when this leaves the battle area, it doesn't matter in what way does it? No, it just says when it's removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill. You add this to your hand and play this from your drop area, because they're going to be underneath this guy anyway. So there you go, so drop along with him, and then his skill will go yoink, yoink. And then
just do it again.
And then just do it again. And so there you go, guys. That is my Marching Boo deck profile. Thanks for watching. Leave any thoughts you have in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.